All right, we are back with another Drive Across 65, Season 1, Episode 18. We're going to review. Do what? Oh, I forgot the opening joke. All right, you ready? You can play along at home too. You ready? Knock, knock. This dick. All right, we good? Is that a good one? We good? All right. So we are back with another Drive Across 65, Season 1, Episode 18. We're going to take a look at the Thursday night game, talk about some of the daily picks, recap those, talk about some UFC. We got some UFC on the slate, college football, NFL. You all know the drill. Shout out to UFC being back. That was a sad week. Let's start off with the daily picks. So we bet Aaron Judge to homer twice. We missed the first one, got the second one at plus 225, so we won a little bit there, about a quarter of a unit there. We had the Reds Cubs over 7 today, and they scored 7 runs in the first 3 innings, and that game just died. That was so bad. It sucks when you're counting that money. 30 innings in and you got 7 runs. You're guaranteed to push. You can't lose. You're already counting the win though, and it doesn't get there. Speaking of games that didn't get there, so we had the Dolphins and the points Thursday night. First of all, I'm not going to do a Stephen A. Smith rant on you guys, but there was 1,000% no reason for Tua to be playing in that game. That was so bad. That was such a poor decision. And I don't know, I can't even figure out who to blame. Mike McDaniels, the GM, the owner, the doctors, the medical staff. I don't know. Somebody has to be accountable, though. The kid shouldn't have been playing, not only for his safety, but also for our bet, right? That's kind of selfish. But nevertheless, he had like a 50 QBR before he got hurt. He was not prepared to play. They should have let him rest. Game planned around Teddy, and would have been a different game. I believe it would have been a different game. And now you're bringing, instead of doing the right thing, and even if you lose, you're still in a good spot, 3-1. Now you're bringing all that negative publicity to your franchise, to your team. It doesn't make any sense. It's a Thursday night game, a short prep week. It's a coin flip against the Bengals. Playing for Teddy to play and let Tua rest. All of a sudden, you guys are doing the right thing. It was dumb. It was poor form. Poor form is what it was, and performance is what they did not do. So they did though. I mean, Tyreek still got his. We didn't bet the anytime touchdown score. Shout out to me. We went to the Bill Burr event at KFC Yum Center. He did a show there. So I didn't get to see the first 2.5 quarters of the game or so. I finally turned it on around the time the Dolphins kicked the field goal from the 2-yard line. That was brutal. We had a chance that we should have covered. I'm going to wrap this up quick. So Miami had the ball down 5, 3.5 left on Bengals 25-yard line. If you have the Dolphins and the points right there, 3.5 left, fourth quarter, Teddy Two Gloves going, you like your spot. I love the spot. I liked us to win right there. You never handicap that interception there. I mean, that was bad. Score a touchdown, Bengals drive down, and you're flipping a coin, score a touchdown there. Maybe an extra point saves the cover. They go down, kick a field goal, and win by a couple. There's so many scenarios that don't end with Teddy throwing a pick right there and the game ended. They lost by 12. That wasn't the real score. Bad. I mean, I call out bad victories, so we're gonna call out bad beat. That was a bad beat. Dolphins should have covered that by a million. But we are on to this week. So UFC Mackenzie Dern minus 260 is our consensus from our UFC guys. I think most of them said she's pretty hot, and they all said that she's gonna look hot. winning the fight. It's really chalky. It's minus 260. We're still going to bet it. We've been on fire with UFC. Cheers to Mackenzie Dern. So here we go. Diving into college football. Rip through the picks. Not a ton of them this week. A ton of action going on, guys. There's a lot of action. A lot of good matchups. Makes it a little bit trickier to handicap. I would rather short my card and feel confident in the picks rather than roll the dice on some games that I'm not 1,000% confident in. First game, Arkansas, first half, plus 10.5 at home against Bama. Kentucky, plus 6 at Ole Miss. Purdue, plus 12 at Minnesota. And the Air Force Navy over. America. We're going over. So, Arkansas, first half. For years, I've said this 100 times. For years, we've been on the Alabama first half to cover. And that trend has paid well. We have to respect the fact that Bama is traveling. There's a trend there also that they don't travel well, which has come to be true. We learned that against Texas. Arkansas comes out hot every game they play. If there's a meltdown, if they fall apart, it's typically late, like we saw past few weeks. They've opened up 14-0, 21-0, scoring a touchdown every quarter, first half, and then adjustments do or don't get made on their behalf or on their opponent's behalf, and they kind of fall apart. Again, Arkansas at home, going to come out hot. Bama traveling. We're going to respect that trend and see where it gets us. Arkansas, first half, plus 10.5. Kentucky, plus 6 at Ole Miss. I didn't want this to be a homer pick. I tried to listen to the smart people around me because my bias was going to lead to take Kentucky anyway. Here's what I do know, though. Ole Miss does have some injuries. They're not the Ole Miss that they were last year with Matt Corral and company. They're not going to throw the ball over the field on you. They're going to run it. And they have some questionables, maybe some outs. Maybe they're officially out, not sure, but they have some questionables at their top couple running back positions, maybe running back 1 and 3, I believe I heard. Chris Rodriguez is coming back at Ole Miss. Kentucky's traveling. Kentucky's going to be down there. The fans are going to be down there in their high school stadium down there at Ole Miss. The line was 6.5, went to 7. It's back down to 6.5. We have it at 6.5. We're going to keep it. We're going to do the right thing and give the right line. We're going to make Kentucky the road dog, the drive across 65 road dog of the week. The road dog has been hot. The road dog of the week has been hot. Road cat, call it out. Road dog of the week has been hot. So we're gonna go with it. Purdue plus 12 at Minnesota was almost the road dog of the week. I like it a lot. Minnesota has been donkey kicking teams. We've grown to like that term. They've been beating teams pretty bad. You have to consider the level of competition at which they're beating teams. First couple games were gimmies. They played Michigan State. I think they won 31-7 at Michigan State. Big win. Minnesota is 4-0 against the spread. That's also big news. Again, they're playing nobodies all the way up until they get to Michigan State, who is very, very overrated and overvalued, even at home. Michigan State's just not good. They overpaid for their head coach. I'm not going to bury that team. Nevertheless, I do like Purdue. They played really good against Syracuse. We had Syracuse as a pick at home, and Purdue took them to the last 17 seconds. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Brom is going to have that team prepared. He's a good coach. He's going to be ready. You're giving a pretty good team 12 points on the road. Purdue plus 12 is the play. Air Force, Navy, over 37 for America. I know the troops games have been traditionally under, and they've gone under so much that it's brought this total down into the mid 30s as of late. Um, I like the over 37. Air Force is good, man. They've been putting up a ton of points. Um, it is obviously a rivalry game. That's nothing that we're not going to acknowledge. But I think there's going to be more points in this game this year than have been in the past. Air Force has been running it up on people. 48-20 over Nevada. They did have that weird game against Wyoming where only 31 points was scored, but still it's 31 points in Wyoming against Wyoming. It's insane. Respect the troops. Salute. America, we're going over. Really just hope Navy shows up. They did just take ECU to 23 to overtime, won 23-20, put 43 points up there. They lost 37-13 to Memphis. Points are being scored against them. They're not scoring a ton of points, but I think 37 over 37 is going to be good. NFL, Texans Chargers under 45. The game is at Houston. Panthers at home as a pick against the Cardinals. The Jags traveling to Philly. Doug Peterson's return. Jags plus 6.5. Texans totals are back on AutoBet, so not to toot my own horn or to show my unbiased, but Texans unders were on AutoBet to start the season. We turned it off against the Bears, which was the right read. They ended up scoring 43 points. I like this game to go under. Herbert's still missing some weapons. He's actually still hurt. It's going to be an interesting game. Texans are getting 5 at home. That might be a daily pick. We might take the Texans plus 5 there. Panthers at home as a pick against the Cardinals. It's going to be a travel game. This line has moved. Been -3, -1, back and forth, all kinds of crazy stuff. I know Christian McCaffrey is a question mark. Arizona's not good. They're not good. It's a travel game, West Coast to East Coast. You have to acknowledge it. You have to respect it. I believe it's going. Obviously, the Cardinals play inside. Carolina plays outside, so it's a field game too. You got a travel game. You got a field game. Give me the home team in that spot. You got the Jags traveling to Philly. Doug Peterson's return to Philadelphia. The Jags are getting 6. Here's the thing: the Eagles are in a for sure letdown spot. They've been killing teams. They've been playing really well. All respect to them. People are talking about them being the best team in the NFL. I still think that belongs to the Bills. They're 3-0. It's gonna be a afternoon game, so it's not gonna be one of those spotlight games with Peterson coming back and all kinds of hype around it. It's gonna be average, everyday run-of-the-mill game. I know we've been on the Jags. We're gonna keep rolling with them. Both of these teams are 2-1 against the spread. I like the Jags to cover there. Eagles in for a letdown spot. Some honorable mentions. Some games that we that almost made the card but didn't. We're gonna start with the Packers. Mac Jones is out for the Patriots against the Packers. That line was at 10 until it got announced that Mac Jones wasn't playing and Brian Hoyer was, and it dropped to 9.5. It actually dropped in the Patriots' favor to 9.5. I like the Packers there at home. Weird game for everybody. Aaron Rodgers is back. He's proven that he's back now. He's got a little bit of chemistry with his teammates. I like the Pack to cover 9.5 there. Bills Ravens, I want to be on that over like everybody else. We got burnt on the over with the Bills last week. I'm not sure. I like the over. I don't love it. Honorable mention. I wanted to bet it, couldn't bet it. Clemson, NC State. Clemson's -7. We missed that bet last week against Wake Forest. We definitely should have rolled with Wake Forest. This one might turn into a daily pick if the public starts betting Clemson and the line moves towards 7.5 and 8 in the next 16 hours or so. We might ride NC State +7. Clemson's not good. They're not good. They are not good. NC State, pretty decent defense, allowing less than 12 points a game. Clemson's not good. All right, they're not good. I like NC. You know what? We're going to add it to the card now. NC State +7. We just added it to the card. It's no longer an honorable mention. We're going to add it to the card. NC State +7. Clemson's not good. They're not. That wraps us up. Another short video, short week. I don't want to force picks. I want to give out advice, and I want to give out what I feel like is winners or advantages or takes. And there's just not on this card this week. Another one I wanted to bet, Vikings Saints in London. I like the under there. Vikings are -3. Even after knowing that Jameis is out, Andy Dalton's going to be starting, which could be to the Saints' benefit. Michael Thomas is out. This line should be way higher. I want to bet the Vikings so bad right here at -3, and I can't advise anybody to fire at it because there's something going. It's such a trappy game. There's something going on there. Can't love it. Lions -3.5. I want to bet the Lions. It looks like the Seahawks are in a position to cover with the Lions to win. 3.5 is so weird right there. The Lions are so much better than the Seahawks. That line is too tricky. It's stupid. Michigan, Iowa. We've been on Michigan all year until they showed us who they were against Maryland. Now all of a sudden, we're scared to back them. -10.5 at Iowa. Iowa's not going to score, right? They're not going to score. Any scores they get are off defense or off turnovers. I want to take Iowa +10.5. You can't bet on the team and the points who you know isn't going to score, even though you don't think that the opposite team is going to cover the 10.5. It's such a weird spot, man. So many weird games. That's it, though, guys. That's our slate. Positive vibes only. #DriveAcross65. Follow us everywhere. Appreciate you guys listening. I hope you guys are taking the advice that we were putting out. And good luck, everybody.